Perfecto. Happy Tuesday. So for today you need 2 blocks, and if you have a little stretchy band might be handy later, and some wall space. So we're going to start at the wall. We'll do Pilates today, and it'll start with a little. So this part might be tricky to get into, but it's worth it. And honestly, if you don't have blocks, just use the wall with no blocks. This is just bringing the wall closer to Rob. So if, Rob, can you make your butt really heavy, like tailbone down to the floor? And then have your arms beside you, please. Pull your ribs a little bit together. Yeah. So there should be some kind of like engagement through the abdominals a little bit, but you're feeling a stretch. So can you straighten your legs a bit more? Yeah. How does that feel for you?
Good.
Okay, so he's in a stretch. And this is great, where you can see what's happening here. Be really passive, and we'll start the clock now. So 2 minutes in this position, just stretching. It's kind of nice. I also thought this would be good for those of y'all who are kind of like working from home or doing whatever, so that if you've been kind of looking at a computer or on your feet, you've got a bit of a benefit of the inversion here with the legs up the wall. This, I'm gonna give you this in your ear. Not gonna like it very much. Yeah. This is, the war is on. So our strategy today to help deal with Oosh is I'm just gonna threaten him with medicines. Be like, do you want this? It's really good.
It's a good idea.
Dog parenting.
It's chloroform.
If you don't have a free wall, good question. If you don't have a free wall, you can be doing this seated. And yeah, take yourself into a bit of a passive fold forward. So you make the same shape, but on the floor. So right now you're not doing anything. You're at wherever your max of hip flexion goes. So for Rob, this is the maximum that he can be in his hip without it compensating somewhere else. And we are at like almost 90 seconds. So this is the same thing where we're doing a passive stretch first for 2 full minutes and chilling in the passive stretch. And then we're gonna do the pails first. And then we'll do the rails after. So pails will be the feeling of the pails. You don't need to know this, but just because we have time, we have like 15 more seconds here. You're gonna go from 0 to 100 over the course of 30 seconds of pushing your feet into the wall. So you're gonna, and I'll tell you when to start. Basically 5 seconds. So start pretty small, like the minimum amount. Start now. Start pushing your heels into the wall, very small amount. And can you feel like a little bit of the hamstrings?
Yeah.
Okay. So what this is doing is engaging this back part of your legs and maybe your hips as well, your butt. And as you start ramping up, so now go to like, I don't know, 60%. Sorry, hopefully you've been like amping up by now 70, 80, 90. Okay, go to 100% and push as hard as you can. We hold the push for 10 seconds. Make sure that you're breathing while you do this. Last 3, 2, 1. Do the opposite action. So your legs won't come off the blocks, but try to start pulling your legs towards you. So don't push your back into the floor. Oh my God. Sorry about hooch. Keep your tailbone heavy. Yes. And then you're trying to pull your thigh towards you. And now you're about halfway, so pull a little more. And maybe some of you will actually get your feet off the wall, but you're pulling your legs towards you now. Maximally, yeah, hit 100%, and then do it 100% for 10, 9, 8, 7. Try to pull your thigh bones towards your abdomen. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so from this shape, bend your knees. Place your feet flat onto the wall. Make sure your tailbone is still heavy into the mat. And then in this shape, do the first part we did. So push your feet into the wall, but make sure your tailbone is down. Yeah. Start ramping it up, a little bit more effort, a little bit more effort, a little bit more effort, a little bit, etc. And then go maximum effort. Pushing your feet into the wall like you're gonna push the wall over, or if you're on the floor, same thing, push it to the floor. Okay, pause that. Now try to pull your knees into your chest, but don't lift your butt up. Yeah! And then that's like, it kind of sucks almost immediately. Can you feel your abdominals up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is our prep for Pilates, which includes a lot of hip flexion, as you may know. So here we're using the hip flexor. So pull them in closer, go to maximum amount, pulling thighs towards you. Keep your butt on the floor. And now just use your hands and give yourself a little passive stretch. So you can make your way onto your mat, Robbie. Everybody else, make your way onto your mat. And we will practice La Pilates. So that stuff was from the functional range systems. And it should help, hopefully, to strengthen your hip flexors in a good way and to lengthen your hamstrings and stuff. But let's just call it the tissue on the backs of your legs. Have your if you have a strap, have the strap nearby, and then go ahead and make your way onto your back, like you would.
Head this way or head?
No, head to the normal part of the mat if you're laying down on your back. Hold on. Hooch, come here. Bend your knees into your chest. Then press your hands into the front of your thigh bones a lot. So on your thighs. The front of your thighs, your quadriceps. Yeah. And then with your knees above the hips, create a lot of pressure there in between your hands and your legs where they meet each other. Stay there and breathe. Can you feel like core starting to engage?
Yep.
Great. One more breath as you are. And then relax. Just let the knees dingle dangle. We're gonna do one more set of that, but with your head lifted. So curl up head, neck, and shoulders, look towards your belly button. Can you take your knees further away? Yeah. And then press your hands into your legs into hands, and resist that a lot. And that should feel like doesn't look like you're doing anything, but it should feel like a lot of activation through your powerhouse. Also, can we give a shout out to Rob's shirt? It's so radical, man. 2 more big breaths. Push your hands into your legs into your hands. And then keep your legs there, bring your heels together, arms long beside your body, or hold your head if you need to. 100. Breathe in as you pump your arms 5 times, and breathe out as you pump your arms 5 times. That's 1 set. There's 10 sets because it's 100. That's it. And as you continue with your arm pumps, squeeze your heels into each other, let your knees be as wide as your armpits, or you might straighten your legs out towards 45 degrees. So that's up to you. Are you counting?
No.
That's going halfway. So 4 more sets. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. And big arm pumps because it's meant to try to destabilize you while you stabilize yourself from your core. This is the last set. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. Hold the position, hands go behind the head. That's it. Stretch both of your legs out to 45 degrees and then rebend them in. And do that 5 times. Press out and bend in. And as your legs move away, try to feel like the abdomen is still pulling down towards the floor. So no ribs lift off of the ground. Awesome. It's a bone he needed. Last one. Press your legs out to 45. Hold there. This is like your tendon stretch. Point your feet and flex your feet, but keep your heels together. That's it. Point and flex and point and flex and point and flex. Like, keep doing it. Pointing and flexing and pointing and flexing. Last 2 and 1. Bend both knees, lower your feet to the floor, and lower your head down. Just take a breath. Pull your knees into your chest and rock your way up towards seated. So you'll stay there for a roll back breakdown. Let your, if you have your block nearby, take one of your blocks in between your inner thighs and squeeze the heck out of it. Rob's going to take his other block forward because he has one. You could use some other prop if you've got it. But find some length through your spine here. Yeah, that's it. And then imagine you want to keep the top of your head lifting to the ceiling, but just scoop a little bit backwards using your abdomen. Hold there, pause, that's awesome. Then breathe in again, grow even taller. As you exhale, just curl back a little further, trying to leave your head on the ceiling. And keep doing that action. You can go, everybody, at your own pace. You're going to only roll back to the point where it feels like you can control it. Too late. And then when you're at the place where you can control it, hold there. And then we'll talk once you're in that place where you can like just barely control it, but you can. Try pressing to the block a little bit more in between your knees, and then curl back slightly further. And then we go the rest of the way to the floor. So try to leave your feet heavy to the ground, and as you roll back, your arms reach forward. Yeah, awesome. Let's do the same thing to get you back up. So nod the chin towards the chest, round between your shoulder blades, and curl up, looking towards your belly button. Nice. This is so fucking good. Rob. Roll up, master. Roll down one bone at a time. I mean, it's great. All right. Do one more at that tempo. Press into the block in between your legs. If you have one at home, you might not, I know. That's okay too. Breathing as you're moving. And this time, squeeze under your armpits a little more to engage the lats. Roll down all the way to the floor and you'll stay, but take your time to roll down to the ground. Ooh, is that a little hip adjustment? Something. Once you're on the floor, take the blocks off to the side. Don't need them for a second. Lengthen your right leg out to the floor. Lift your left leg into tabletop, knee above the hip. Great. And then really firm your right thigh down into the floor. So feel that it's like cemented down into the ground. Arms are plastered beside your body. So either with your bent knee or you'll straighten the leg. Start to draw a circle with your thigh bone across to the right, around and forward and to the left and up. And do 5 of those in one direction. So now we're mobilizing where your thigh bone sits in the socket, but using the stability of your core so that nothing else moves. Rob will straighten his leg and do 5 the other way because those are really good, so challenge yourself. And we did those sick hamstring stretches at the beginning, so you're like loosey-goosey, Mom.
Look how loose that is.
He's a loose boy. Last one. Hold at the top of this one, and now curl up head, neck, and shoulders to look forward beyond your lifted leg. Reach your finger pads and don't touch the leg, but try to touch them past your thigh. Other leg floats up, and you scissor switch. Other leg lifts, other leg lifts. So keep on going like that. Woo! Last 3. And with your other leg in the air. So right leg can stay up, left foot softens to the ground. Lower down your head, arms pressed beside your body. Single leg circle across your body, forward, around, and up. So at home, just know you shouldn't hear like a ton of like clicking and popping and stuff. Work within the range of motion that you've got. And really concentrate on the standing leg, the one that's on the floor, being still. Go 5 in the opposite direction. That's it, straighten your leg. You did it on the first side. Ooh, loosey-goosey. Oh, look at flexy. But it's cool. We're going to lengthen those things.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. 2 more. Last one, circle around and hold at the top. Hands behind the head if you want. Curl up head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to do the same scissors. So lift the other leg off of the floor and then scissor switch. One leg lifts, other leg lifts. That's it. Or you're working with bent knees. If you were having bent knees, then you can just bend and straighten. That's it. Curl up a little higher. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bend both knees in, hands behind the knees. Just rock your way up towards seated. And once you're there, we'll keep on rolling like a ball. So take your feet close towards your butt. Bum. Your bum. And then hands go to the fronts of the shins. Like pretty low by the ankle. Yeah, that's great. Elbows out wide to the side. And then scoop just a little bit off of your sitting bones so that you're like behind them. Your feet will lift up a little to do that. And you're gonna stay in a cute little ball and roll back and roll up 10 times. So inhale to tip back, exhale to roll up. And each time you're trying just to roll only to like the very tip of your shoulder blade, nothing further. And then that keeps it like a little bit more work for the abdominals. It's like a real show of control. Do you know that Pilates was originally called Contrology? Did you know that? Last two.
Did you know?
Did you know? Final one. Once you roll up, hold the position at the top. Take both of your hands to your left shin. Yeah. Left hand by the left ankle, right hand by the knee. Perfect. And then try to lift the shin up into the hands a bit and stretch this other leg out long. So lift this shin up into your hand. That's it. So keep that pressure of shin into hands, hands into shin, and control your lower down into your start position for single leg stretch. So you'll bend the knee in a little closer towards your armpit, and then you switch. Other knee bends in, and you switch. Great. As you move, try to breathe. And the knee can be a little bit turned out towards its armpit, which is like kind of how it sits in the socket. So we keep flowing here. This is the abdominals part of Pilates. Last 4, 3, 2, final one, hold here. Bend the other knee in. So hold this position with your legs. And then hands behind the head. Let's start to break this down. Press your legs out to 45. You already did this at the beginning. And then bending back in. That's the leg action for double leg stretch, is the legs lengthen out and they bend in. Have a little turn out through your thigh bones. So you're wrapping the outer thigh back behind you, and see if that helps to kick your butt into gear when your legs go to straight. Now the arms reach back long beside your ears, and they circle around and bend and catch you. Arms reach back. Sorry, we've got run out of space in our little tiny rooms. So start with knees bent, lift up, curl, and arms reach back. Circle your, as your legs go forward, then circle your arms around and bend your knees back in. Do it again, lengthen out, and like catch your knees, pull the knees to your chest. Yeah, do it again, lengthen out. It's a stretch, and like that, it's supposed to be a stretch in both directions. Like here, when you pull in, like stretching into the front of the hip. 2 more. Circle arms wide and around. Push the block. Touch hooch. 1 more. Lengthen out. Stay curled. Stay curled. Up. Pause. So curl. Stay in your curl when your arms reach back. Stay in your curl. Arms reach back. Yeah. And then around and up. Okay, hold this one. Lower your head down for a second. And then lower your feet to the floor. We're going to break down crisscross. Take your hands behind your head, please. Curl up head, neck, and shoulders and look towards your belly button. Keep your elbows wide. That's it. And then in your curl, twist towards your right side so that you rotate your chest. Then come on back through center and do that to the left. Stay lifted in between. So the whole time ideally you're curled up. 1 more time like this. If your knees feel like they're going a little bit with you, then take your block in between your legs and try 4 more like that. So twist your rib spine and then to the other way. 1 more both directions. We're just maximizing rotation here through the upper spine. Then lower down. If you had the block, let it go. Lift the legs right up into tabletop. Legs pressed together. Keep your hands behind your head. Curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Look towards your belly button. Now you do the same thing, but with the legs added. So twist towards your right. Reach your left leg forward. And then go right to the other side. Left knee bends in and you twist there. As you rotate, imagine you're on a balance beam. Have energy reaching through the leg. So like really pushing something away. Not like that, like smoothly. Don't kick me. Last
do what you told me to do.
Yeah, right. Hold here in center and then lower your feet down. Death by Pilates. Reach the arms back, reach the legs forward, take a big full body stretch. Can you feel alive in your center or what?
I'm alive!
He's alive! Alright, so from this position, legs together, heels touching. Lift your arms up towards the ceiling, deepen the ribs down into the floor, and control a roll up. So nod the chin towards the chest, deepen your powerhouse, and roll your way up towards seated, bone by bone by bone by bone. Nice! You're showing off. Okay, cross your shins, and then just like bend your knees, cross your legs, hands to the floor, and come into tabletop. In your tabletop, take one regular old cat-cow. Don't think too much about it, just round and arch your back. Here's the deal, is if you have one of these stretchy bands, this is when you're gonna bring the stretchy band into place. So Rob's gonna take it across his mid-spine to start, and then hold the handles in your hands, or like at least the stretchy bit.
Are you gonna ride me around the neighborhood?
Yeah. You might actually want to, yeah, this could work. I would say instead hold like the band and have your hand on the floor. So you get a bit more resistance. Yeah, that's better. For this band, it's gonna vary. Even if you have like a yoga belt or something, or a person to like poke your spine.
What's a yoga belt?
Oh my god. It's like what you get when you graduate from like brown belt, yellow belt. Oh, which is paw, cute. Okay, so back to Pilates, please. The part where you've got the belt across, see if you can just lift like that vertebra towards the ceiling. Yeah. And then lower it back down. And then do that a couple more times in that same spot. Try not to move above or below. Just move like right where the band is. And this might feel like you're doing nothing, but it's interesting. Pause here. Move the band a little bit up or down, and then see if you can find just movement into that segment of your spine. And so this is like quite a lot of core work, but pretty subtle. And a little up and down. So do that again, maybe move the band a little lower or higher. And does this make sense to you? It looks like it's making sense.
To me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where you're just like isolating one part of the spine.
I think I'm doing it.
You're doing it quite well. Yeah. This part's harder. So you might keep moving the band if you have one up or down. If you have no band, don't worry, we're all coming to where you are right now. So rather than cat-cowing like a big global movement through your whole spine, come into a cat and pause. So if you had the band people, get rid of it. But think about that as like, that's a thing you could do if you, depending on the information you get after what we're about to do. So yeah, take an angry cat position, and even though you're an angry cat, have the shoulders hugging down the back so that your upper traps aren't taking over. And then in that position, so you're looking at your pelvis, don't move your upper spine, just start to curl your tailbone towards the ceiling. Yeah, and then from that movement, keep going. And don't move your upper spine yet, keep looking up. So you're still grounded in your upper spine, but you're articulating, starting to dip into your lower back, and then letting that travel up a little bit higher. And this is like kind of the most annoying thing ever to do, but it could also be really mindful and like a chill time. So now your challenge, my friend, is once you've gotten to your arch of the back, try to keep your upper back like how it is, but then start to move your tailbone. So just your tailbone tucks under. And then just the sacrum, just the lower back. Yeah! Oh. So et cetera, et cetera. And then letting that move through the rest of your spine. And you might go faster or slower than us, but do try to make it intentional. So now do it again from the rounded shape. You'll start to untuck the tailbone, lift it towards the ceiling, kind of fan your tailbone out behind you. Let it move like a wave through your spine. And again, and from your back bend, you'll do it from the lower spine. Yeah. This is it can be really telling of like, we all have different chunks of the spine that don't move as well as others. So just explore without like making a whole story about it, and noticing what moves and what doesn't. And if in this exercise, so you're still going and exploring, if you find a spot where you're like, holy crap, this whole like section doesn't really move, Then tactile feedback, like using something like the band, or I think Matt Thippen was talking about he had an eraser when his teacher Hunter did this with him, like would put the eraser between certain vertebrae and be like, just try to move this one. But we want to have everything like moving and grooving because the spine is so vital. So we'll just take our time through one last one. And then after you're done your last one, tuck your toes under, lift your knees and your hips up into downward facing dog, or an upside down V shape, and we'll meet there. And we haven't really like prepped this shape a lot, other than the hamstring stretch, which obviously, look at the back of Rob's noodle legs, they're amazing. Wrap your armpits towards your heart a bit and let your head completely relax. So take 3 breaths here. Use your hands to press the floor away from you, to lift your hips up towards the ceiling, like across the room from you. I think you can lengthen your stance a little bit, babe. So if you came in right from tabletop, you might need, yeah, that's better, right? You might need to like walk your feet back or your hands forward. It's a good reminder for me to tell people that. Thank you. Then from your downward dog shape, lift high at the ball joints of your feet. So you've got lots of energy, and then move from your tailbone again and start to tuck it under and wave your spine forward, bone by bone by bone, toward a plank shape, but like a cat plank shape. And you did it, you're perfect. Sorry, I was just clarifying my language. Spread between the shoulder blades. Take another breath. And then start from your chin this time, not the chin towards the chest. Roll yourself up bone by bone by bone until you're back in your dog. And then suddenly you're like, oh, I wish I was doing the tabletop things again. 2 more. So a sequential wave, articulation. And it's interesting because like this is something that Joseph Pilates really believed a lot in, was moving the spine like an animal would when they wake up. And he developed his method in like 1914 or early 1900s. And now like science and these more contemporary methods like the FRS stuff is like kind of presenting information that's in the Pilates work, but like with stuff to back it up. Hold your next plank next time you're there, which is why it makes me so excited. Now in your plank pose, lift your right leg up to hip height, point your foot, and shift forward and back 2 times on the other foot. So you'll lean forward and lean back. Lean a little forward over your hands, stay in your plank, and lean back. So don't lift your hips, just move your body forward and move it back. And then lower the foot down and do the other side. Lift the left leg up to hip height. Yeah, that's it. Lean forward, lean back. Lean forward, lean back. 1 more time each side. Right leg lifts. Lean forward, lean back. And then last time, other leg lifts. Keep firming through the inner hand. Lower your foot down, lower your knees down, sit back to child's pose. Woo! That was fun. 1 more deeper breath, fill the sides and the back of your lungs. And then from this shape, just crawl your hands over towards the right of your mat. So take a little stretch in your child's pose towards a hucha. Hands on a hucha or on the floor. Wrap your left armpit towards the ground. And deep breath like you could breathe just with your left lung. And come on back through center and go to your left side. Does that feel nice? A little side stretch. Let the armpit wrap toward the floor. Breathe extra breath into your right lung. Then come on back through center. Wave your body forward into all fours. And tuck the toes, lift the hips to downward facing dog and the knees too. Then walk your feet forward towards your hands. And as you get close, try to make space by pressing your hands down into the ground. Yeah. Relax your head, relax your arms, and roll up bone by bone by bone by bone by bone. That is a lot of bones.
So many bones.
Maybe that's why Mitch gets so excited. He thinks that when we're talking about Pilates and bones, we're talking about bones. Anyway, thank you. That's your practice for today. Good job, Rob. Sweet shirt, man. Have a great Namaste.
Peace.